I first and foremost give all praise to you, how about Shem Yahweh Shabbat. Give sincere greeting to all the brothers and sisters scattered across the four corners, teaching this word with sincerity and charity. I'm Brother Phoenix with Prince of Power Israelites, here with another short lesson. It's going to be kind of milky, dealing with the fear of the Lord. This title will be, do you truly fear the Lord? And the importance of fearing the Lord. Now, there's a narrative that's being written throughout Christianity, especially Black Christianity, especially African American Christianity, that God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. It don't matter where you go. You can listen. You can go to any stadium. You go to the Mercedes-Benz Stadium down there, and you can yell it out with maybe like a group of 10 of y'all.
But God is good, and all the time. God is good, and all the time. God is good, and all the time. That's what your Father is like.
And you'll get the whole stadium saying, God is good, and all the time, God is good. Because this narrative has been played, just like one of these little trendy records they put on the radio. People, this thing is deep and deeply rooted within people's hearts. They truly believe that God is good all the time. Now, God is good, but things have to be balanced. We know Proverbs 11:1 that the Most High hates a false balance. So there is a balance to this thing, and we have to understand. We have to understand how the fear of the Lord and the importance of the fear of the Lord, how the fear of the Lord obtains to our salvation. Because truly, the fear of the Lord is actually the very first step. So if you don't have that fear of the Lord, you're missing the very first step. You haven't even took the first step to salvation, to exalting His name, to being a testimony. You haven't even took the first step in your salvation. And we'll read that in verse Sirach chapter 19, Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha. Right? Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, we'll read chapter 19, verse 18. Watch this.
Ecclesiasticus, chapter 19, verse 18. The fear of the Lord is the first step to be accepted of Him, and wisdom obtaineth His love.
The fear of the Lord is the very first step. Even when you read Deuteronomy 10:12, we like to read that once we tell brothers that they're Israelites. It starts with the fearing the Most High. You got to fear the Lord. You must fear Yahweh.
Into this thing called God, but yet for 400 years we were in chains. For 400 years we prayed. For 400 years, Black people have a saying in church where we go, the pastor comes out and he goes, God is good, ain't He? And we say all the time. All the time?
God is good.
All the time. 400 years, all the time. The 60s, all the time. The 4 Black girls that died in the church bombing in Alabama, all the time. The 9 Black people shot by Dylan Roof in church, praising God. You would think if the one place you are safe, a safety zone, is in His house, and if God and the angels can't protect you in His house all the time,
when you think that the Most High is just all lollipops and bubblegum, like you think that he's just going to give you all your wishes. You treating the Most High like some kind of genie. You treating him like Will Smith in Aladdin. And the problem, another problem that comes with that is that you correlate your obedience. Your obedience is directly affected by what you call blessings. Your obedience is directly affected by the blessings or by the goodness of the Most High. So when He's not good to you, then your obedience starts slacking. So you only obedience once you can put "I'm blessed" on the front of that new Benz. Or you put I'm blessed under a post when you just closed on your first house. But when you getting evicted, your obedience gets shattered. And see, a spiritual person understands that the afflictions are the blessings. That's like the eviction is going to give the Most High some glory. When you come back from that eviction, still in obedience to the Most High. Knowing that these wilderness is to humble us. But before I get sidetracked with that, let's deal with the fear. So we're going to look at why it's important that you fear and seeing the other side of the narrative. In 1 Samuel, we're going to read 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 6, Isaiah chapter 45, verse 7, and Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39. All of these are precepts about the balance of the Most High. We'll see this balance within the text.
Isaiah chapter 45, verse 7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39. See now that I, even I, am He, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 6. The Lord killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up.
I killeth, I make alive. Simple. I killeth, I make alive. Don't nobody else do it. Don't be thinking that the devil is doing. The devil works for the Most High. Satan works for the Most High. He was created by him. He has a very important job, but he must follow orders. Read the story of Job. He sat at the council. He must follow orders. So you have to understand the other side of this narrative, right? You have to understand the other side of this narrative. He bringeth up, he bringeth down to the ground, right? He'll lift you up out of the dung. But your obedience can't be tied directly to him being good all the time, because that's just not true. And that's why a lot of people lack faith. That's why a lot of people are leaving the church, which, you know what I'm saying, is a good thing. But they leaving the church and going to something silly like this Ephiism and Egyptology and that whole nine. But we got to understand, again, the fear of the Lord and the importance of it is that it is the first step. It is the first step. Now, we read Ecclesiasticus chapter 19, verse 18. We'll go to Proverbs chapter 9, verse 10, and then Psalms 111:10. And you'll see that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
Psalms chapter 111, verse 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endureth forever. Proverbs chapter 9, verse 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding.
So you see, again, it starts with that fear. It starts with that fear, and there's just countless precepts. There are countless precepts dealing with that. We can also look in Ecclesiasticus chapter 10, verse 19, where it talks about the root of wisdom. Let's look at that real quick.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 10, verse 19. They that fear the Lord are a sure seed, and they that love him an honorable plant. They that regard not the law are a dishonorable seed. They that transgress the commandments are a deceivable seed.
So you see, it's countless precepts. There's countless precepts on it. We'll look at a few more. Let's go to Sirach, back in the Apocrypha, Ecclesiasticus chapter 1. We'll read verse 20 through 21, and then we'll jump over a couple chapters to chapter 10, and we'll read verse 19.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 1, verse 20. The root of wisdom is the fear of the Lord, and the branches thereof are long life. The fear of the Lord driveth away sins, and where it is present, it turneth away wrath. Ecclesiasticus chapter 10, verse 19. They that fear the Lord are a sure seed, and they that love him an honorable plant. They that regard not the law are a dishonorable seed. They that transgress the commandments are a deceivable seed.
All right, so once you understand this, once you understand that the Most High is the one putting these people to death. The Most High is giving that charge, giving that call. You can stop tying all your bad and all the bad issues that you have, and all the failures or all the disappointments. You can stop tying those things to the devil, or stop tying them to Satan, and understand that the Most High allowed that to happen, right? And pray for understanding on why it happened. And understand that 9 times out of 10, it's the glory in His name. It's to glorify His name. It's to use you as testimony. That's why the Sirach 2:1 tells us to, once we come to serve the Lord, to prepare ourselves for temptation. But when you understand that the afflictions are the blessings, you understand the fear of the Lord, you understand the afflictions are the blessings. And let's read Psalms chapter 128 and verse 1.
Psalms chapter 128 verse 1. Blessed is everyone that feareth the Lord, that walketh in His ways.
All right, so you understand that fear of the Lord is also a blessing. God is good all the time. All the time God is good. That's only half the narrative. You need that fear of the Lord to even take that first step, towards wisdom. It's the beginning of wisdom. It's the root of wisdom. And those that fear the Most High will become an honorable plant. Like, we have to understand these things. We have to understand the importance of the fear of the Lord. Are they teaching you that? If you're in these churches, right? Have they taught you that? And if your family, ask your family members, Israel, ask your family members, do y'all understand what it means to fear the Most High? And let every man work about his salvation with fear and trembling. That's how you work this thing out. So we gonna end out with Deuteronomy chapter 31 and verse 11 through 12. Verse 11 through 12. Well, I may read 13.
Deuteronomy chapter 31 verse 11. When all Israel is come to appear before the Lord thy God in the place which He shall choose, thou shalt read this law before all Israel in their hearing. Gather the people together, men, women, and children, and thy stranger that is within thy gates, that they may hear and that they may learn and fear the Lord your God, and observe to do all the words of this law.